So it really is available for everyone. I mean, I've got second graders to adults reading it, so it's hard for me to say the general. I mean, it's YA fantasy. If you look at library stuff, it's classified under YA fantasy. But I do have second graders to adults, so it is clean, that epic clean fantasy, which means there's no profanity or anything like that. Just some good old fun, just some good old dragons, action, that's safe. Because I know, like, I've had parents at book signings or message me and they're like, is this, safe for my kids? And I'm like, it's safe. There's nothing explicit in it. It's just good old nerdy D&D fantasy fun. So,
welcome back to Living the Next Chapter. It's the author podcast where we get to meet some pretty spectacular authors doing some really interesting things. Ryan's here. He's going to be sharing with you, like, I don't know if we have enough time today to cover all the different things he's doing to promote his book, to build community, to get out there, and the connections and the sheer volume of ideas this author has. I don't know. One of the biggest complaints that I hear from authors is, I write this book and I have no idea how to market my book. And I'm like, oh my gosh, you got to meet this guy. Ryan is going to blow your mind today with some of the things he's got going on. I've never heard this. I've got 600 episodes. I've never heard some of these ideas. We're going to tap into that today. Ryan's a great author as well. Beautiful website that you just got to go check out. You're going to fall in love with it. And you got a new author to fall in love with as well, Ryan. Welcome to Living the Next Chapter. Glad to have you on the show.
thank you. I appreciate it. I'm glad to be here. So it sounds exciting times. We got lots to talk about.
We have a ton to talk about. You are just, before we hit record, you're just like, and this, and then I'm doing that, and then I'm over here, and then I have this going on. I'm like, oh my gosh, wow, we got so much to talk about. Let's start here, Ryan. Where are you in this big world of ours?
Well, currently I'm in southern Indiana. I've got 3 boys, and me and my wife, we've been married 15 years now. We celebrated our anniversary last week. So I'm out here in the country.
But there you go.
Thank you.
So she's got 15 years of teaching, like,
right,
already instilled in you, right? So she's going to stick around now. That much
there
time
you go.
invested in you, right? Training you up and getting you ready. Yeah, I've had the same thing for my wife. So,
Right. Well, I
good.
tell everyone my gray hairs from my boys, and I named each one of them because they just keep getting worse and worse.
There you go. How old are your kids?
So I've got a 5-year-old, a 6-year-old, and a 15-year-old.
Wow, there's a good spread. There you go. Good
Yeah.
stuff. Excellent. Your journey as an author, Ryan, you are probably one of the most creative people I've met as far as what happens after the book is in the world and how you communicate with people and the opportunities that you chase. I don't even know where to start. You spoke recently at a GeekCon and you're a panelist there and you kind of talked to authors a little bit. I'd love to kind of pull in a couple of the things that you talked about on that panel, because I have authors listening to this show that maybe weren't at that event, but really could learn a few things. What kind of things popped up on that panel discussion that you think might help an author listening to the show today?
One of the things is really networking. And this is, when you speak about marketing and the authors, so they've got this great book, great product, but they're unsure of how to get it to the world, how to readers. One of the things that I always tell people, I do have a local author and local business on my newsletter. And it does have all my links, but once a month, I mean, I'm booked all the way till November of next year, but I do offer that for authors, just businesses to way to give back. But networking is so important. One of the things that, we talked about was, going international, reaching on Instagram, different followers, and then also staying active. So it's hard to, post every day or do something because, face it, we've got kids, we've got life. It just kind of happens. But being consistent and always, doing those things will pay off in the long term because it's a race, it's a journey. It's not just a short term. And the other thing is, trying to make something unique and creative that is your own. And speaking of my website, and I told everyone at the panel this, that if you go to my website, you can hit collab and it'll have links to the two novels that'll be published in Australia next year to that publisher. But then it also has every bookstore, and it's just a continuous update. It has comic bookstores, pizza places, whatever the case may be. Um, and it has their Facebook or Instagram link, and then it has their website, and then it has what they carry. Now, it may take November or December. I mean, I've got like 9 weeks of traveling here to really get to 15 states, and I'm going to London for 12 days. I'll be gone, and I've got a radio station interview coming up and things like that. But so it might take some time to get there. But the cool thing about networking and collabing with other people is that all the opportunities. And I always tell people, I'm always here to help. I've been around a little bit. I've tried just about everything, it seems. And I'm constantly working on it. I probably spend 50% of my time marketing. So,
Wow, that's an interesting number. Wow, okay, I don't hear a lot of authors say that number. Maybe 25%, 10%, 5%, 50% of your time marketing. That's why I'm seeing you everywhere. That's why I'm hearing about all these opportunities. They're not just going to come to you. You write a book, you tell nobody, and you wonder why you're not selling books. You're out there doing the work to make this happen, right?
correct. So I've got about 200 bookstores, coffee shops, small businesses, local people that I'm in talks to. Plus, I track my mileage. I've got all my tax stuff, and then I've got big master sheets of my worlds. It's got customer lists, got addresses, all that confidential information. That if you ever need something, you can use a drop down and you can find what state or what country or things like that. So, excuse me. The biggest thing is you know, A is networking. A lot of authors like know things or have opportunities or things like that. Like my publisher has a open submission until October 15th for free. You could be, a free magazine or there's different things like that. But you also got to market it. You've got to send it out. You've got to talk to bookstores. And even if they reject you, at least you did the work and effort. So generally, about once or twice a week, I'll reach out to about 20 to 30 local businesses and just see if they'll carry it and give them my whole spiel, and tell them where I've done and what I've been and things like that. And then I message them and follow them on Facebook and things like that and try to share their stuff. So,
Okay, Ryan, where did you learn all this? Because again, I've got 600 now, 635 episodes. This is like the most unique form of getting your word out there about your book that I've heard on this show to date. Pizza shops. Like, I don't know any author that I've met that's even thought of pizza and a correlation between promoting my book and pizza. I love pizza. I'm like,
my
get
boys
pizza
do
every week,
too.
right? Yeah, like my pizza company knows my house, and if we don't order every week, they send someone to check on us. They're like, you guys okay? Yeah. So like that, like we're always ordering pizzas. But how did you make a logical connection between an author, a book, and a pizza shop?
So,
Where was your mind? How did you do that?
So one of the things is like on my website, it'll have different coffee shops, pizza shops,
Yeah,
things like that. So when you go to collab, you can actually go and it's free marketing. So any business that carries my stuff, they get free marketing permanently on my website, and
smart.
that customer can click their website or social media and it'll go straight to them. And there's nothing like it. I wanted to make it unique. Um, in that aspect. The other thing was that that was the website that was cool, and I thought I wanted to do something different that no one's done. And then the other thing when you were asking about pizza places, so I've actually got a pizza in Ohio that is going to have a pizza of the month named after my series, and I've already gave them the name that I told them to do, but they're going to do the whole month especially, I'm not going to gain profit. It's just a way to help local communities and businesses. And then I'm trying to get a cookie shop in Indiana. And then I have another pizza place in Indiana and Texas that's going to do kind of the same thing. Um, and so where I thought of it, because you normally don't think like, they didn't
No,
have pizza back in medieval times and castles and
no.
all that. Uh, but my boys love pizza and I love pizza. And I just wanted a way to give back to local businesses and communities. And there's a lot of small businesses that need help or supporting authors, and they do a lot of good for the community.
Yeah.
So that was my idea on that. And then I thought, what can I do to make it unique? And that was the idea behind it. And, thankfully they actually agreed to it and got, love the idea. That so I mean it you got to eat. And if you think of like it's not in medieval times, but they did have taverns. They did have big plates of potato and
Yeah.
rabbit and stew and all that. I'm like you're not going to find a tavern that will kind of do that
No.
here. So pizza,
Yeah.
everyone loves pizza. Pizza's the next greatest thing. I also have a bookshop in Indiana that I'm giving 25% of the money to that people that pre-order. Just to it's the only shop I'm doing, but it's another way I help, want to help give back to the community and small businesses.
Why is that so important for you to give back like that?
So it's important to me because I grew up in the country. I grew up a small town. Everyone knew everybody, and where I grew up and kind of how I grew up, where my great grandma raised me. It's just a smaller, old fashioned way of living in that sense of community building and helping each other and helping each other grow and do something good. So you always want to give more than you take, and you always want to help
Yeah.
grow things that um, are local people because we all got to survive and we all got kids and families, and if I can do good and I can change a life, then I feel like I've done my job.
You're not just local, though, you're global. You're going to be doing a podcast in Thailand. You have talks about London. Like, how do you have a global focus and a local focus at the same time?
So everyone is really local. I mean, it is global, and we're in a different country. We're not the same, because you're in
Yeah.
Canada, I'm here in the U.S.
Yeah.
But we all are local in the sense that it's that small business owner that's owned by that one person that's not corporate,
Right.
or it's that farmer that needs help, or it's that mom and dad pop shop that opened the pizza and
Yeah.
they want to sell pizza because they just love pizza and dough. You know what I mean? In that sense, it is local. It is global because I do have a library that agreed to carry my books in London and display it front and center. And then I've got a couple stores in Australia, and then I'm in talks with something Italy and Rome, things like that. And I've got readers in oh man, really everywhere. I mean, it's really everywhere now. And there's talks of me going to New Zealand and stuff next year as well, and Norway and things like that. But it is still local because the people's local, and it's just we're a different continent or country.
Did you plan to do this from the beginning as an author? Like to be out there talking to these people and doing all that? Like, I have no idea how you'd even start to plan this out.
I didn't. So what I originally set out to was just basically to provide hope and inspiration and to make a difference in the world that people can follow their dreams and they can make something of yourself because everyone tells you, you got to work for the man or you got to work the 9 to 5 job or all this, the norms with what society says. And I mean, I wanted to be different and I wanted to provide hope and inspiration. Now, I work about 100 hours a week on my series and my book stuff and marketing and checking out shops and map questing and all that good jazz hotels. And I mean, I pretty much do everything. But It's really humbling because it's grown into something that's just huge. I mean, just my Instagram's grown by 500 or 600 followers just in a week, and it just keeps growing too. It hasn't stopped growing, so it's just really exploding. And that for me has been humbling because so many people have rallied and really loved the series and can relate to it. So it was never my intent. I just wanted to publish a book and show the world this cool world of Azerin, and from there it just kind of blew up.
I don't know how you have time to write with all of the stuff you got going on, promoting the book and what you're doing. I don't even know how you fit in time being a dad and writing and promotion. I have no idea how you do this, but it's working. It's working really well.
It is. Yep. I don't get a lot of sleep, and I don't eat much, and I'm pretty at my computer most days. But it's okay because I know in the long run it'll go to something great, and it'll be build up to something great. And I mean, there's so many lives that I've changed, that I've seen it, I've heard it. I've got a sixth grader. I mean, at sixth grade, she's getting paid by my publisher to do the prequel covers and Daniel's journal, which will be a free item if you pre-order book 3 next year. I mean, she's got some designs she's working on, and me and her are feedback. But I mean, sixth grade, she's going to get paid to do this, and her name's going to be in the book to the world.
Nice.
So
Nice.
it's awesome and humbling just to do something like that. Because I remember being young, I remember being youth, and I would love the opportunity just for something like that. And I'll be on the radio doing an interview in October. And then I got invited to a couple classes and speaking in schools about being an author and things like that as well around the tri state.
Great. Okay, let's jump into the book because I know there's people here that want to know more. Because as a reader, they're not really an author. They're not really here to learn how to write a book. They just want to fall in love with you and follow your journey. So we'll have a link to your website and everywhere where people can connect with you. But let's talk about the story. Like, what is kind of like a big picture of what the story's about? Some of the main characters we're going to meet. Take us into the world. What do we need to know as a reader?
So the biggest thing in the book one, Into the Blaze, is that it throws you into the world. So you get to meet Daniel and Trisha and Brocktree. They're kind of the unlikely trio, so to speak, because they come together in ways that most people would be like, well, that doesn't fit. But as they're going through this, Daniel's got a quest to find his heritage. That's just a simple, humble origins is how it started. Um, and you don't really see the bigger picture till book two. And book two, you discover that, hey, there's gods that I created of old, and there's evil shadows and things that are kind of making, the puppets work, and there's a bigger picture. And Azerin, as it may seem like cool and fun and epic, and the people don't know it, but it's kind of like a teetering on
Yeah.
war. And so book two really dives you into that, like, hey, the gods of old are back. There's more magic, more beast, and the shadows kind of have tipped in the favor of the shadows, the war, the balance of the war. So I always tell people that because the first book, people loved it. It's your epic high fantasy, lots of action, lots of magic, my unique beast, original lands, original places I created. But then people are like, well, you stumped me on the end because, yeah, you just left me there. And then they're like, it doesn't give much background. So, and the reason I did it kind of backwards, but the reason I did that is because I plan to write at least like 6 or 7 more prequels of each character. So then each character will have its own like book. Um, and in the entire world, I plan to write over 300 books.
Wait. How many books?
300 is my goal.
300? Oh my lord. 300 bucks. Wow. Okay. you will have a lot of books to promote if you write 300 books. That's amazing, Ryan. Holy
Thank
cow.
you. So I've written two prequels already, at least the
Yeah.
drafts. I wrote them when I was younger, and then I can build upon them. And then I've written two short stories that are in the same realm that help connect kind of book one and two, and the background nutrition, things like that. That might be published next year. I'm not sure when, but sometime. And I've wrote Daniel's journal. But the cool thing about Daniel's journal is I wrote half of it, and then my mom's going to write the first half because it's going to be a perspective as a mother, and being pregnant and having the baby in the womb, and then all the
Yeah.
way up until about 5 or 6. So I wanted that personal touch because most readers are now, there's some guys out there, but there's a lot of women readers as well that love dragons and fantasy. So I wanted to connect with them and show them that personal touch as a mother, and raising and going through that process of being pregnant, and having kids, and watch them start school until they turn kind of 5 or 6 where they can write and kind of have that thought of their own. So that'll be a unique experience in that aspect.
What I love about what you do, Ryan, is how you collaborate with small business. You collaborate with a grade 6 student. You collaborate with a female to help you write the mother part of story. You're not doing this all on your own as a one man show and you do everything. You like to find other people to work with and bring them into your world. And I think that's going to make your stories even better than if you tried to do all this. You've never been a mother. You don't know what it feels like. You don't know what it means for them, right? So I love that you're collaborating so much. I think that's one of your secret sauces.
Thank you. Yes, I love working with people, and I do try to give back in the ways and things I know, but I also try to help local business and support. But I love working with authors as well, and hearing
Yeah,
their insight. And I do try to make everything personal, touch, and unique in everything I do. So it's not the traditional, XYZ path. I've never been a traditional guy. But in today's world, there's so many books that readers have an option, and the books are great. I mean, they're epic high fantasy, riding dragons, slaying assassins and archers and swords and duels, and hey, that's all great. That's awesome. Us D&D nerdy guys, we love it. We get a
yeah.
kick out of it. But there's a lot more that really you can do, and not just from an author perspective, but if I try to put myself in a reader's shoes, what would I like? Another cool thing is I've actually got a shop in Tennessee that will be an exclusive place that creates character figures from my series, and I've got 6 shops that agreed to carry them already. And then I have a board game and a card game coming out fall of next year with my publisher. And it'll be kind of like Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh! Magic Gathering, that it'll have expansion packs and seasons and things like that. And I've got 6 to 10 shops agreed to carry it, and a bunch of D&D groups agreed to play the game and things like that. So, I really try to make that personal connection with everybody.
Are you a human being, Ryan? Like how are you're going to need a bigger hat for the amount of stuff that's in your brain. I don't know how you're I am just I have no idea. I have no idea how to handle this conversation because you have so many ideas.
Thank you.
Again, I'm still stuck on the 300 book thing. I'm still reeling from that comment. Like,
Well,
I,
I mean,
wow.
I've gotten probably 30 books already planned out.
Yeah.
Because if like I can, there's some I can fit in between book one and two, and then book three is already written. It's being worked on now for next year, but there's a year and a half gap between book two and book three in the time frame. But then you can do like generations. You can do, there's probably 12 or 13 continents on the map of Azerin that I haven't touched. I haven't written stories, and then all the myths and legends in book one, two, and three that I haven't expanded on. Plus, this map only covers 2 ages. There's actually 3 ages, which people that read book two will find that out. There's 3 ages, and then the third age. It's more like the first age, but it's like before the catalyst. So there's a big event that alters the world of Azerin and the lands, and then this is the map you see. But I still got to design a map because I make my own maps too. Um, and then I have a spicy romancy series as well that I made another map, a whole nother map, but that's going to be out in a probably 2 years. Probably I'm hoping 2 years, but that'll be like a 300 world book series as well because I made the map bigger. So I made the map bigger than the world of Azerin, and the first it'll be like initial sixth book instead of three. It'll be 6 books initial, and I've already got book one written and done. It's about 600 pages.
I
So
think you need to go invest in a name tag so that you can wear that around the house so people know who you are. Because I don't know, again, I don't know how much free time you have just to chill and sit on the couch and watch Netflix, but
Mhm.
I just see you consistently dreaming, thinking. It's amazing. Where did the actual seed of the story start? Right? Like, and how far back? You said you started writing when you were younger. Like, where did the idea of this world even begin for you?
So my eighth grade teacher, and I really try to give that dedication to her. She was local. She grew up in the same town I did, but we had a project for eighth grade that we was challenged to write something new and unique. She wanted a story, a short story that no one had seen before. And I love fantasy books. I used to read, 300 to 400 books every year since like fourth grade. I've been reading that
Really?
every year. So the libraries knew my name, and my dad was tired of buying all these books because we would go, get a cartload. We'd go to Barnes and Noble, and so I was like, I love fantasy, I love dragons, I love all this stuff. And she was like, whatever you want to do, whatever you got full control. It just has to have 5 paragraphs or more and follow the standard of eighth grade English basically. And I'm like, this is cool. So that's what I did. I ended up getting the top in the class between me and another student. And then afterwards, she pulled me aside and she was like, you've got this talent. You should keep writing. And I'm like, I mean, I love computers and I love building things, but I'm not like a writer. It's not what I'm pictured. I'm in eighth grade and you got your socials and all the teen stuff and the phones and all that good jazz. And I'm like, no, I don't know about this. And she was like, no, come on. And so she worked with me and kept pushing me. And then so that was the one prequel. And then I wrote another prequel, a Brocktree. That prequel was Daniel, that for her class. And then I wrote Brocktree prequel. And she loved it. She absolutely loved it. She was like, I want to see this world. So I have, I still have my, um, map that I drew in there. And so, good old piece of paper, taped up in eighth grade style, which we've got a surprise for people in book three, me and my publisher. So I hope people see it to the end because it's really humbling because it's going to go back to my roots. So I'm very excited about that. It's cool stuff. But and she loved it. So from there, I end up written Into the Blaze all through high school. So I told everyone like, hey, I was going to be a writer. When I graduate, I want to write. I'm going to sell books, and I'm going to give back to the community, and I'm going to help the farmer down the street, and I'm going to support local, and I'm all about local. Of course, when you're in high school, you get laughed at. No one's like, yeah, you're not going to be a writer. Socials and all that's more important. But I'm like, no, I'm really going to do this. Um, and she ended up helping me and really pushed me. She loved my work, so I really try to give that dedication to her. She passed away because of breast cancer, but she was just such an amazing
Mm.
woman, and I really tell everyone that was kind of my foundation. And I'm very humble, for teachers in general, because teachers are such a big cornerstone for the youth and the people out there that I try to give back to teachers. And when I go speak with kids, I give any kids that have birthdays that week, they get a free book, a signed book, and then I give like author cards, and I've drawn stick figures, and little notes, and then I normally try to give the teacher something as well because it just means so much to me.
What's the age range for your books? Who would be your ideal audience? Because the people listening are like, I want to buy books for my family, but also know other people I like to buy books for. Who's your age range?
So it really is available for everyone. I mean, I've got second graders to adults reading it, so
Okay.
it's hard for me to say the
Wow.
general. I mean, it's YA fantasy. If you look at library
Yeah.
stuff, it's classified under YA fantasy. But I do have second graders to adults, so it is clean, that epic clean fantasy,
Yeah.
which means there's no profanity or anything like that. Just some
Yeah.
good old fun, just some good old dragons action, you know, that's safe. Because I know, like, I've had parents at book signings or message me and they're like, is this, safe for my kids? And I'm like, it's safe. There's nothing explicit in it. It's just good old nerdy D&D fantasy fun. So, but
Okay. All right. That's good to know because people listening are like, oh, good. No, I feel safe doing this. One thing you haven't mentioned, maybe, yet you probably have a plan, but audiobooks, is there an audio version of this maybe that could be in the future as well?
well, I'm thinking about it. Currently, I'm just really trying to get what it is out there now. There is
Yeah.
talks of translating it in different languages next year. That is an idea we're tossing around as well. So I just haven't, unfortunately, I just haven't had a lot of time lately.
No,
But
what are you up to? What are you doing? Yeah.
right,
Because the one thing I've heard from parents is they're looking for a screen free thing that their kids can do while they're doing other activities. And audiobooks is a great screen free alternative to being on your tablet or being in
yeah,
front of your gaming system, right? So they can go play and color or do Lego or whatever, but they can listen to a book. So I know there's a lot of parents hungry for audiobooks for kids. So,
it. Yeah, I mean
you know,
it is, and it's definitely something that I would love to do, and something that I've thought about. It's just the cost of it right now,
yeah,
just because the holidays, and I mean, so this is a crazy thing. I've just so far this year, we've traveled, and this is not just me. I mean, I've packed the kids up. We've gone just about everywhere, but we've gone a little over almost 8,000 miles just in book stuff. So that's not counting your everyday. That's just going to festivals, going to bookshops. And I've got 15 states to deliver. I'm sure it'll be um, probably another 8 or 9,000, not including the plane trap miles, overseas.
yeah,
So it's just with everything right now. But I have thought about it, and I do want to make it an audiobook as well because I
okay,
had an audiobook of the rare edition and people loved it. But because it was a different publisher, I can't sell it. I can't distribute it. It's got to be, everything's got to go through the new publisher. So,
yeah, okay,
and me
all
and
right,
him's talked about it too.
okay. It's amazing. Ryan, I could have you on all day. I'm sure like we haven't even scratched the surface on your future plans and other opportunities you're looking at. I'm amazed at how you make this such a priority to get your story out there. And I think it's a great example for authors on maybe we can do more because again when an author comes on and they put very little effort into promoting their book and then they get frustrated by the lack of response, then they get to the point where they're like, well, maybe I shouldn't write. And here you are with so many plans and so many ideas. I just think you're a very creative person, and I love the reason behind why you're doing it and the story of your teacher. I think that is like the coolest thing for you to carry that forward in her memory and to know that an adult saw something great in a kid and encouraged it. And here you are with all these opportunities that might not have happened had you not been in that grade 8 class with that teacher being inspired to write that one project, right? It's just so cool.
Thank you. It's really full circle for me because the ironically the sixth grader that is doing the covers for
Yeah.
the prequels and the journal, where her dad, me and him went to high school together, and he always talked about joining the military. That was kind of his thing. So he was one of the guys though that actually like heard me out, and listened to me. He thought it was the coolest thing ever. And I didn't realize that he was her dad until I went to go meet them and meet the parents. And then we kind of reminisced about high school. So it's
Nice.
really, I mean, it's just been such a huge blessing and humbling knowing that my eighth grade teacher did that. And then I'm able to give back to that sixth grader who ironically is the daughter of the dad that was also a person that believed in me and one of my friends all through high school, and his daughter now, I mean, can go to Canada and to see these different states and stand beside me, and that could really mean something to her and change her life for the better. So
So amazing.
it's really cool to me because I didn't picture it, and I really try to give back to the communities that's helped me. People I've really rallied around the series. Number one, they love it, but also the local support. Um, and I did want to say that you talk about a lot of authors that are not getting their stuff out there, or they're having trouble, or that. The biggest advice I really can give them is and this is anybody, even a reader, because I've had a lot of readers I've helped coach, that are writing. I've read tons of manuscripts, and we've actually some of my author friends that have been signed by my publishers because I send my publishers way, and no one else would sign them, no one else would do anything for them. So they've been really humbling, and the biggest thing that I can give them is don't quit. Someone wants to hear your story. Don't quit, keep believing in it, keep doing it, and above all things, make yourself unique. No matter what you do, don't compare yourself to another author, what they're doing. Just try to be unique and original, and support local because local businesses need your help, and people rally around that. They love somebody that's just unique in their own way. And
Yeah.
keep going at it. It's a grind. Got to keep doing it every day.
Excellent. Ryan, mention your website too before we go. This is the best place to stay in touch with you, follow your journey. You have your links there for Facebook and Instagram as well, right on your website. But take us to your website. We'll put a link in the show notes so people can click right through and come to you. But talk just quickly before we leave about your website.
My website. So it's so three W's dot authorryannull.com/home. This will get you basically to the website. It has a personalized ebook feature. So typically, when you buy an ebook, you can put it on Kindle. And I know some readers may be a little upset about that, but with my feature, you can actually go to the website and you can see the cursor that's on flames, or you can see the drag in the background or the flames as
Yeah.
you're reading it, because that's where you have to read the website. Now, you do have to make an online account, and I know people kind of scold me for that, but the reason that you have to make an account is my website is completely secure. It's encrypted. It has so many extra security features that that I don't know that people have, and I wanted to make it safe for readers and money and things like that. But not only it gives you a unique personal experience, so you can actually see your invoices. You can print, you can download an invoice. You can track all your purchase history. You can update your information. You can read the book. And then you can also go to collaboration, and it'll show you your favorite the Australian publisher, those novels. But then you can stroll and you might find your local coffee shop or your bookstore, and it doesn't have to be in the same state I'm in. All my stuff
Yeah.
is there. And it will be updated, so it will keep growing as well. But you can click on their website or Facebook, and then you can support local and you can help give back to them as well. And then you can also see what they carry. So every shop has what it carries. But it's also a great place because it has, my information. It has the trailers. It has descriptions. There's a cool spot that has the map of Azerin, and it has 10 points. So if you ever reading it and you're like, well, I'm not sure, you can either, keep reading or reference, but you can go to my website and you can see a short description of those 10 items. Then it's got location points. It also has my policies. It has my creative team, all the people helping me and things like that as well.
It's amazing, right? It's very well thought out. You're a very interesting person to talk to. Again, I don't know how you balance all this with being a dad and 5 dogs, 3 kids. Like, just, it's amazing to see what you're doing. And I love how creative you are and that you're going to keep writing. You have so many stories. You have more stories than you have days right now, which I think is exciting. And all these good things that are happening for you are the direct result of your heart, the fact that you care about people, you care about your community, and you're just a great guy. Like, I see you doing so many great things in the future. You got to come back. Like, you got to
Well,
come back and give us an update, okay? Because I'm just so thrilled to see all the good stuff that are going to come your way in the future, right? It's great.
thank you. I would love to come back. And, one quick thing is there's several local businesses that are going to have special pizza or special desserts or specials of the month. And so look for them in October, no matter where you are in the U.S.
There you
Thank you
go.
for having me.
Excellent.
It
Yeah,
means
Ryan, thank
so
you so
much.
much. So good. Everybody, all the information for Ryan, as always, on in the show notes. You got to go to the website. You just have to, and go through and click through. You'll find so much great stuff on here. If you're an author and you're looking for inspiration, and you're like, I'd love to talk to Ryan. I'm sure he can squeeze in a few minutes in somewhere in his calendar to spend some time with you. He's got a great heart for people. And I know if you're struggling a little bit, even one of these ideas would be helpful for you to implement. And if you have questions for Ryan, either email him, contact them on through his socials, through his website. I'm sure he'd love to just meet with you and chat with you quick and give you a few ideas and suggestions. So anyways, Ryan, thank you so much for being on the show. Appreciate you.
I thank you. I appreciate it. And I'm looking forward to coming back.
Excellent. Well, I'll hold you to that. Thanks, Ryan.
Thank you.
Hey, thank you so much again for pressing play. As you've heard, great guests on the show. And one thing you didn't hear in this conversation is what? What did you not hear? Think about it for a second. That's right. Not a single solitary commercial for a mattress or a supplement or a whatever you call it. No. Why? Because we don't want to break up the conversation with commercials. So the fact that you're still here means that you are a fan of the show, I'm assuming. So if you want to help to keep the podcast going and to make me feel really happy, all I really care about is coffee, okay? I just got to be honest. I love coffee. I'm drinking one right now. It's starting to get cold. I need to warm it up. Helping us with our Buy Me a Coffee link over at livingthenextchapter.com and also in the show notes helps kind of keep the lights on around here. Remember, I'm doing this for free. I'm paying for everything. So I would love to have a little coffee donation, even $5 kind of fills up my cup. And I would love to enjoy a coffee from you. So if you're interested, again, thank you for listening. But you can use our Buy Me a Coffee link and fill up the cup. Thanks for being here.